Hey, everybody. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
It is a cold Friday, too. Probably colder for some of you than it is for us. I've seen some comments in the comment section talking about how cold it is in places like Florida, which is so weird. Absolutely so weird. Anyway, we've got a special guest tonight, and there are little technical difficulties we're working on behind the scenes. But in the meantime, what I'm going to do is get some hellos in because that is important. You guys are the reason we are here. So first, I want to welcome in Squatchy. How are you, my friend? I hope Lazy Loper is treating you well. The Terminator's in the house. Good to see you. City Greens, welcome in. Carrie Davis says greetings from, well, let's try this here. We're going to try this real quick. Hold on. Say something.
Something.
Nope.
Nope.
You are back in the closet. Okay. Where was I at here? Kent, welcome in. Says hello, Tag and B. I hope everything is good for you, my friend. Jean Menke is in the house. Terminator says it's minus 21 Celsius. For us, a little warmer from the minus 53 and minus 40 Celsius we've been having. Yeah, that is cold stuff. Let's see here. Jane Marie, welcome in. Brett Boyd, good to see you. Says it's freaking cold in Florida.
Yeah.
My friends Nitos is in the house. I hope all is going with you. I hope you're continuing to enjoy your off-grid existence. RN, welcome in. No lie would be complete
Without a pack rat.
without a pack rat. That's a fact. My buddy Mo Engineer's in the house. And hey, I want to put a special shout out to Mo. Him and I, let me try again.
It works now. I
All
can't
right, say something.
Can you hear me?
Say something. Say something. You guys are so cute. That is the quietest I've ever seen you guys. But you're back in the closet.
Are you sure it's not on there on your
Babe, I pulled up a video. I could hear it fine, all that. I did the checks on my side, and I have no issues. Anyway, I want to give a shout out to Mo Engineer. Mo and I have in my opinion, what a relationship is supposed to be. And he's honest with me, and there's times I want to wring his neck. And I'm sure that the feeling is mutual sometimes, and he wants to wring my neck. But you have a real friend when you can have hard conversations and it be okay. And I am thankful that I have that in my buddy Mo.
Is there anything that you can do to allow them to have a mic? Like on your settings,
No.
do you have to allow somebody to have
watch right here. You can watch right here. When they come in, I can mute them and unmute them. But no, I can't. Anyway, Dana Green, welcome in. Brett Boyd, good to see you. Jules is in the house. Hello, Skanes girl. I hope you are staying warm. And the single greatest name on the entire internet
Bubble Off Club
is in the house tonight. Okay, wait a second. Pack Rat says you could hear them. So you can hear them and I just can't. Is that correct, Pack Rat? Lisa, how are you? Welcome in. Indiana Mike. There's another good buddy of mine. I hope all is well with you guys. Let's see here. Did I say hello to Dana Green? I don't remember. If I didn't, Dana Green, welcome in. Carrie Davis. Oh, they said they can hear them. Interesting. So why can I not hear them? My speaker is working. You guys hear me fine, correct? Let's start with that, right? Can you guys hear me?
You just talk.
David Strom, welcome in. Brett said he just ordered some grow lights. Pretty cool. Yeah. Kent and Paula are here. And I know it's cold where you are. Let's see here. Started Oak, welcome in. Stan Guntry, good to see you as well. Thistle Creek, hello. Let's see here. That is so crazy. Crazy. Yep, you can hear him. Yep, you can hear him. Hey, Adam and Cindy from ACM Homestead are in the house. Good to see you guys. Okay, we're going to try this again here.
Hey, can you hear me?
Nope. You know what's crazy, though?
This
is Jess and Joe from American Roots Farm.
Hey, can you hear me?
The audience can hear you. You know what's crazy, though? I can't hear you, but the audience can hear you. We could have fun with this tonight.
They can.
Charades.
I can't hear you. But the audience, I don't know what that is. And we can only see half of your face. You got to improve that.
And it's delayed by like 3 minutes.
They were up and then down. There you go. Look at that beautiful couple. Look at that. Love. The love is just beaming. Except we just can't hear them.
Well, they can hear them.
Okay, so
you have to figure it out on your end.
No, because the audience can hear me,
I can hear
and
them.
can hear them, but we can't hear.
Yeah,
each
we got to figure it out.
No, they can hear us.
Oh,
Can
yeah.
you hear us? I can hear them.
other. Yes, and Joe, can you guys hear
But
us?
I can't hear you.
But
Hear us.
I
Only on the phone.
Hmm.
Oh, he said.
Are you texting me?
Only on the
Oh
phone.
my goodness.
Oh, he said.
I don't have no text from you, Yo-Yo.
no.
Only on the
Oh
phone.
my goodness. This is going to be so much fun.
Okay.
Uh,
You people out there that are smarter than us. How do we fix it?
yeah. Jules says, I hear that hearing becomes an issue when you get older, Dag, apparently. Yeah. Right? Oh, where do you find? Everyone says they can hear me fine. Hey, Lindsay Freeze. Hello. Then they say they can hear us fine on Facebook. So that is so interesting.
So maybe it's your link.
So edit mic settings. They can hear us fine on Facebook. Yeah, there's nothing for me to do there. There's absolutely nothing for me to do there. I can mute them.
Too, so that they can hear us, but tag B can't.
You do with those dots.
I can kick them out of studio. I can edit mic settings, which I just attempted. I can edit their name, right? And I can ban them from studio. Those are my options. Which do you prefer?
Well, none of them are good.
Okay. Let's see here.
Okay.
Well, everyone says they can hear you guys.
Ban.
Okay. So this would be funny. We could have a conversation and neither one of us know what we're saying. Everyone says they can hear you guys.
I know, it's crazy.
All right. So what do I do?
Now I hear you.
Okay, I changed my settings. to my
Back Rat
computer.
tells me to tell you guys to get in close. Echo bad.
Okay, I changed my
Jenny Fowler. Hello, hello. Good to see you. Let's see here. You need to stop the
Can
phone.
you
Do you
hear
have the phone on, Jess and Joe?
We turned it off.
Wait, is that your?
They said they turned it off. I think that's what they said.
Yeah.
Instigator says audience hears both. Welcome in, Instigator. Echo is Jess and Joe having second stream on their phone. Okay, so they
We
took care of
turned it on.
that. Call each other and leave it on the speaker. Jenny Fowler, you're so smart. Let's try this. Let's see how well it works.
That's what we were just doing.
Okay,
I don't know.
we will try.
Hi.
Okay, so you can hear me now.
Yeah.
But there's an echo because ours, we can hear it through ours going through the phone.
Oh yeah, so that would mean
Phone.
This guy.
Guy.
oh my good. I don't.
Make sure their permissions are
yeah.
on.
Okay, I have them all on.
You guys are permitted.
Yeah, see, mine is on. Camera's on. Audio.
Phone's on.
I had to change my audio from Zoom built-in to the computer. So I don't know.
Okay, well, let me ask the audience this. Can you guys hear us now? Can you hear both of us?
Yeah. Oh. I can hear both of you.
You have the phone on.
Hey, Sharpshooter. How you doing, buddy? If I miss somebody, I totally apologize, but I am just, Okay, so the answer is the volume up on Tag's computer end. Yes, the volume is up. Here's the settings. Audio. Yeti speaker.
It is only on one ... Look.
Let me see something here. No, that doesn't do it. This is so much fun. Let's look here real quick.
So you're the only one that can't hear us?
No, I hear you through the phone.
Oh. Well,
Okay, we need to try to mute the.
Well, now I can't hear you on my computer.
yeah, you just
I could hear you through my computer before. Now I can just hear you very faintly through the phone.
what? I think you said something.
Mute your computer. I know you hear me now.
On my computer.
Okay. Can you?
Not, I can hear you on the phone and on the computer.
Okay, so mute me on the computer.
Wait, you got to put my speaker on the phone though. I can
Yes.
hear it.
Mute you on the computer.
Let's just leave that. All right. So how about that? Technology is wonderful when it works. I agree with that. I don't know. I'm asking the audience if you guys can hear me now.
I hung up. Can you hear me?
Just hung the phone up on me.
Can you hear me?
Oh, you can't hear us now?
No, he can't hear because he was listening through the phone.
She said that she didn't hear you.
I can hear you, Pack Rat says.
Okay.
All
I'm
right.
going to try something, you guys. Everybody hang tight. Okay. I'm going to hang up and I'm going to try to come back in.
All right.
Whoa.
Hold on. Stand by.
Hanging
up.
tough.
Hanging up.
Okay.
Oh,
Wait a
hanging
second.
up.
They're saying we're good.
I can hear
Okay.
everything,
Yeah.
Indiana Mike says. Jane Marie says, I can hear you both. Whose phone? Who?
They're on. It didn't ring. So they
Nobody.
lost signal. They're in Denison.
Tag, voicemail, tag, missed call.
What's going on?
Can get.
Put on speaker.
Okay. How's that?
Well, on my speaker, it's good.
Okay. Cool. Leave it on your speaker. Let's see if everybody is that okay. One more person just tell me it's okay. We'll get trucking on it.
Indiana Mike hears everything.
Indiana Mark's my guy. Okay, cool. Everyone says we're
He's
good.
a smart guy.
Okay, so
He doesn't hear well.
You guys are good. Go.
okay, all right, cool. Well, everybody, welcome in. And we are joined tonight by American Roots Farm. You can find them on YouTube at American Roots Farm. And let me see here. They say there's a bad echo. Okay, 1 second. Okay. Say something, Jesse Joe.
Jessica.
Okay, got it.
Something, Jessica.
Yeah, I think we need to hang up and try to come back in this. All right, Jess and Joe, hang tough. Just don't go anywhere.
We can hear them through the computer now. Hang on.
Okay.
We can't hear you.
Oh,
See,
really?
and then I hang up on them and they can't
I'll be
hear
right
us now. They're like,
Oh,
and I hung up again.
I get it.
So
So,
he hung up. Okay,
Welcome to
hang
life.
up, tag.
welcome to Life Done Free.
Hey, everybody.
I'll be right back.
Here's the deal, bud.
Wait, you see our barbecue sauce.
All good.
There. So, I caught a cardinal today. I didn't get it on video.
Tell me, can you hear me?
Now your face is gone. Still can't hear us.
hear me.
Well,
So weird that everyone else can hear us.
what do you want to talk about?
Well,
What's on your list?
we were going to talk about the emotional side of not being able to hear the people that you're talking with.
It's making me emotional.
I just heard something.
Yeah, I heard something. Was it B? Can you hear us now?
When it works.
How about now? Testing.
Oh my goodness. Goodness.
Well, we can hear you.
And you still can't hear us. And someone says they can see you, Tag, but not hear you.
Should I play a song?
Topic: how to connect with other homesteaders. A work in progress.
Yep.
All right, so Jess and Joe,
Yeah.
they
Hello.
can hear you well. Just take over the live. I'll be back.
Okay.
Take it over.
Just talk.
So
What's on your list?
Hey.
More than 7 years ago.
a lot of the things we were going to try to talk about was some of the accomplishments that we have done since we've been here. We've been now a year and a half living full-time off grid, and the different things that we kind of were able to accomplish in that year and a half. So we started on 80 acres of raw land, and we didn't really know. We showed up ready to sleep in a tent and thought we would be able to kind of accomplish all that in a tent, and realized very quickly.
Can you hear us now?
They might be able to hear you still.
That we needed more. So we bought a tiny house, and we kind of, quickly recapping, put the tiny house on the property. Even thinking that was better than the tent and that would be enough.
This was
2 years ago.
Junes ago.
Yeah, we've been living
It
on
was
the
in the
property
summer.
for a year and a half.
Yeah, and I don't know. Some people might remember that was a super hot summer, super humid.
We were in a drought.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, so
triple digits in Kansas. So
Brett Boyd says, Tag, your volume is weak.
I think Tag's weak. Come on, Tag.
He definitely can't hear you.
I know. I'll have to tell him when he can't hear me.
So yeah, we put the tiny house about a half a mile back on the property.
This is great.
So Half Bubble Off Plum, did my parents come as well? So they still have their house in Phoenix. Our goal was to build sort of a base camp and get a place where we could shower and sleep and, recoup from all the building that we were doing. And we just, now a year and a half in, are at the point where we just started talking today, actually.
Yeah, we finished that Thanksgiving last year.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
ready to start talking about building the house. So once we get a house built for them, then
Can
that
Justin
might
Joe
be
hear
a.
me? Hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Can you hear us?
Can you
Just
hear
can't
us?
hear you.
Oh man.
So yeah, once we get a place for them to go, I think it would be a lot easier. Papa's a mechanic, and he has a lot of tools, and we need a place for those tools to go. He can't just
He's a
move
good
them into a
mechanic.
shipping container. So anyway, yeah, we put the property about a half a mile back, thinking we didn't want any neighbors. We wanted to be secluded, and then we started loading in rock.
Yeah. Shorter driveway, a lot shorter. Rock's expensive. And then we picked a spot by the trees and didn't realize we were just digging it in a hole. But it worked out. We had a good friend of ours ended up building some swales on the side to kind of divert the water around. But
Well,
so
and we
it's a good
installed a
spot.
lagoon,
Yep.
and so we were able to start working on plumbing
Yep.
and actually get, water. We buried a cistern.
That
and
was
so
a huge learning experience, especially dealing with NEKS, Northeast Kansas. All right, can you hear us? Kind of hear you very faintly.
I might be back.
Oh, there you
I can
are.
hear Justin Joe.
I can hear you.
This is glorious.
Okay, stand by. Keep talking.
Okay. Regular
So
house
here we
build or something permissible only through the freedom of rural zoning. So we've done everything with building permits here. So we
Yeah.
didn't show up trying to skate out of what we had to do in the city, which was get a building permit.
Yeah.
But we have actually moved the house up. We got a building permit to put the house on some concrete.
Yep.
And then we decided that
Maybe we're gone. Did he kick us out?
Tag echoes now. We can still hear her. So he can hear. Pack Rat, can you see me? Oh, yeah, there they are.
There they are. Oh, there they go.
Hi.
That was a
So-
learning experience, just doing all that stuff too. Never done any serious fencing before or building a fence. And we had to make it so it could basically pass the inspection. But that's how we got our address here. 'Cause
Yeah,
we
so you
didn't
have
an
when you
address.
have raw land, you have to get a lagoon, you have to have a septic,
septic.
something to kind of show that you're disposing of waste properly if you're living on the property. And then they'll give you an address. And so that was one of the ways we kind of didn't really even know what the first thing was to do, except for, okay, get a building permit. Okay, now what? And so we just took things one step at a time.
Yeah,
And
that worked out pretty good.
yeah, we were actually just talking about it. You take the lagoon, you think it's going to be this mountain that you can't overcome, and you're sitting here thinking, oh my gosh, how am I going to do that? and then you just figure it out. It's like one thing leads to the next. You talk to people, you network with people, you have, different, watch a lot of YouTube University on, hey, how do I, drill a hole? But the skills build, and then the next thing you know, you're not just putting up a chicken fence or building a lagoon, you're adding on an addition or a mud room or, a bathroom.
We prayed a lot.
Yeah. So we have, now we have running water, we have a toilet, we have a shower, we have a washer and dryer. So the building permit, I think it depends on like how much it is that you're doing, like if you're going to do it between $1,000 and $2,000, it costs so much, but I think it costs us like $50 for the building permit.
It's $25. I think it was $50 because we were late. So we already had our house, or the tough shed, basically moved. And when we were getting the permit to put an addition on, we were told that we had to get a permit to have that, even though it was on skids. So that's what we did. Is when we got our permit, we said, "Hey, this is what we're building onto." But so that's it. It was because the one for the the one for the mudroom was what, $15.
Yeah, so our building to add the tiny mudroom.
Yeah, it was like 40 square feet.
Yeah, it wasn't as big as the bathroom. That one was $15. So that was kind of in comparison to like what's the cost of the build that you're doing. So Packrat says, and you have 10,000 little fish crackers ahead of you of tasks you've never done before, but you're up to it.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's so funny, Tag, we were just talking, it says everything's easy, and I'm like, it's how you say it. Like, everything's not easy, but once you learn these skills, it is easy. Like, it starts to get easy, like, I think that, and isn't that the truth? The state wants its little slice of money. And Simon says at every stage of your journey, permits. We were laughing because I'm like, do we even need a building permit to add a mud room? We're talking about a place you put muddy shoes and coats. Like, really? And did the tiny house require permitting? So, yeah, that was the first original $50. Like, we put the building on it, and we're going to add a bathroom. So that was the $50 permit. I'm sure if we weren't going to build the bathroom, we should have had just the permit. We put like our shipping containers on the property and found out later like we should have had building permits for those, but I didn't think that was the case, and so I guess
I don't think we don't need a permit for those.
They would have come back and told us if we did. I think they're just starting to tax them.
If we attach something to them or
connect them together.
Make it so that it's a structure then. But
so
they don't tax it right now.
Mo Engineer says, we read that, sorry. And then why does it take a permit to build on your land with your own cash? Who are they protecting you from? I don't even think it has anything to do with that. They want their money for taxes.
It was basically because it was ag land, it was zoned that. And then once you have an address and septic and running water, then they zone a portion of that land. I think they counted it as 2 acres just because of the driveway. Our house doesn't take up that much space at all. It's a tiny house, but
right.
So that it's 2 acres of not. I think they call it residential. Can you hear us?
I hear. How about now?
Yes.
There's a delay, but it's weird.
Okay, but now there's an echo. Hang your phone up.
My phone's hung up. Hang your phone up.
Yeah.
JCK Citizen Broadcaster, howdy. Nito's 5772 building permits. They're a whole lot cheaper than here. We found that when we moved to Maine, our liquor license was like $500, and in Arizona they're like 50, millions, and they auction them off. Yeah.
Crazy.
Packrat says, because we're in the land of the free. Isn't that the truth? And don't forget, even if it was paid off, you'd still be paying property tax on it.
Yep.
So, Mo Engineer, here shipping containers are not taxable as long as you don't modify them. That's what I think Joe is saying,
Yeah.
but I've been hearing talk amongst where I'm not sure if that's the case. I'll have to ask Tag when he can hear me.
Oh, she can hear us, but we can't hear them now.
No, you guys should be able to hear me now, but there's an echo. I'm trying to figure out where the echo's coming from.
Copy. Did you kick him out?
No, do I have that ability? I don't think so. He's running the show.
All right.
Okay.
All good. Speak, Tag. No.
So
Hello?
Echo?
no.
They were playing at Home Depot the other day, Dobo Mortigato, Mr. Roboto. Where were you when I needed you? Anyway, they were jamming it, and when I walked out to load up that trim, this dude, he was singing to it, and I go, man, you can't get that out of your head. And he goes, I know. We're about the same age.
You know, it's funny. My Crooked Little Homestead said, we're here, and I think you're in Canada. They said they're allowed one shipping container per on the 100 acres not taxed. And we have 3. So we weren't thinking, we just wanted to move everything onto the property. And we thought, oh, we got a good deal. We'll buy one, buy another one when we can afford another one. And then we thought, oh, later on, we'll join them together and make a building. Well, if they're going to tax it and it's, you know.
Yeah.
But then Pack Rat brought up a good point. Lawyers are roaming free across the country in feral packs, distributing disease and boilerplate urban zoning codes to unsuspecting rural areas. And that is so much the truth. Like when we moved here, the big thing was like, hey, if your neighbors don't say anything, then you're good. Like, you know, whatever. Nobody's reporting you. And like some of our neighbors have like a junkyard in his front yard. Like there's cars piled up. Like there's, you know,
It's a legit junkyard.
it's a legit junkyard. And like, I don't care. Leave me alone. I'll leave you alone. Whatever. But,
well, we were told the worse it looks, the more you fit in.
right. Yeah. The
So-
worse it looks, the more you fit in. So
That's what I'm going with.
Nito said that they had to pay for a building permit to put in the solar. $750. Wow. See, yeah, we put a whole solar array in. How many panels are on the array?
12?
12 panels. And what are they, 4x8?
Almost, yeah. Little under 8 feet.
So 12 4x8 foot panels, you know, and we didn't have to have that.
Which I saw the other day, and I don't know if anybody knows this out there that's got solar, but I saw that they had a vertical setup where it was straight up and down. I want to say north to south, bifacial panels, and that did better than the 30-degree angle or the with south exposure, and then another one. I thought that was interesting, and I don't know if anybody saw that and saw that it almost got twice as much from being straight up and down than at a 30-degree angle.
Rhonda says, hey, y'all, I'm late. Well, Rhonda,
Hey,
we're
Rhonda.
having technical difficulties, so
Big
Tag
time.
and B are trying to figure that out. The echo.
Echo.
So we're Jess and Joe
Okay.
from American Roots, if we've never met.
Hey, there they are. And we can't hear you.
I was going to say,
Can you hear
welcome
us?
in, Rhonda.
Oh, yes. Welcome in, Rhonda.
There he is. Oh, there he
Yep.
goes. He's doing magic.
He's like, Rhonda's here. I got to hurry up and get in there and welcome her in. And then he left.
Random, are you in an area served by rural broadband, or is it more Starlink territory? Well, Jess and Joe have Starlink.
Yeah, we have Starlink. and-
Tag, I think, has both. I think he's
does.
hard linked, he's hardwired in, and he has Starlink as a backup. How does your system compare to Tag and Bees? So we actually bought a Grid Down from Grid Down, and it's identical, right? Except Tags is on a metal frame. His panels.
No, he's got more kilowatt hour storage.
Okay,
Yeah, and
but as far as the systems, they're the same.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He
it's,
has grid down now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lion Energy, grid down, super, super. Ever since we put it in, we haven't had any issue with power. We use a lot of power. But yeah, it's a great system.
Indiana Mike says vertical panels are good for the winter, especially in high snowfall areas. They don't do as well in the summer.
I knew he'd know. He's on it like Blue Bonnet.
I can hear Tag and B and Jess and Joe. RN 3162, when you can hear us all, is there an echo on your part, or is it because we're hearing an echo when they all come on? Starlink, it's $120 even a month. You buy the equipment, and so we bought the router from them. We bought all of that, and that was the initial investment. And then it's $120 every month, and we don't have.
No, it's great.
I mean, in a storm, we don't lose our internet. We can be sitting there watching TV. It can be pounding snow. It can be pouring rain. It can be blowing wind.
Yeah.
I think we've only had an outage with it one time, twice, maybe in 2 years. It's been really nice for having internet in the middle of nowhere. Joe works from home part-time, and I'm running a business online right now. So we're both able to work from Starlink.
And it's 62 watts continuous power.
Oh, see, he's learning. So, let's see. We bought a grid down. Nito says we bought a grid down system, same as
Awesome.
Tag, with 28 panels on a ground mount.
Wow, that's great.
That's pulling in some good power, man.
That's big power.
See, what that says to me, and what I didn't know before, was what I just read there was he can charge his batteries really quick.
Oh yeah.
Because he's got so many panels.
Yep. That's pretty crazy, Tag. Well, anyway.
So Starlink is 120 unless you buy the mobile. It's then 50. Yeah, and that's if the mobile is like if you aren't going to be in the same place. We ended up hardwiring ours like into the house. We bought the mounts from Starlink to like put it on the house. So.
And I cut the wires, and we actually
had to repair the wires. You can buy a repair kit for it. I mean, I agree. Like out of all the options I've ever had, I think Starlink is, I don't work for Elon Musk or anything, but it definitely has been helpful because like people will ask, what do you notice about off grid? Do you guys have any? Hi.
You got it? What'd you do?
I might.
Yay, you did.
Yeah.
Well, it's a little bit behind.
Well, we'll talk slower.
We can hear yourself on our computer.
Weird.
Let's see. So somebody said, what is your online biz, Jess? So I'm launching like on American Roots Farm. I have t-shirts, and I'm working on something right now that we haven't quite launched yet.
I want the cat out of the bag.
Let's see.
Oh, no.
Says he's still very echoey. Router works well for me. Do you get TV channels with Starlink? I think it's just internet, and then like we stream like our online, like YouTube.
Like Roku.
Right. But
Test.
Hi. Wow.
you can tell he's like, okay, 30 minutes into this.
Who's the IT guy?
Jonathan. Yes. So anyway, we're adding the mudroom right now. Last year we had a lot of snow in the house and we really didn't think about it. And so funny, we finally add the mudroom and then we've had like 2 snows.
Yeah, we haven't had much.
I dare you to remember what you were talking about. You know what, Pack Rat? I like you because you could tell I couldn't remember what I was talking about.
Oh, you could. You were talking about
Kilowatt hours and how you learned that what that told you was how fast you could charge your batteries. Bam. Nailed it.
She's got a memory like a steel trap.
I tried really hard on that one. So yeah, when you say to me that you have 28 panels, then I'm sitting
Yeah.
here thinking, man, you can charge your batteries really fast. So
Yeah.
it's okay to use your power on things like a, dryer. But that's one of the things we did was we were really concerned about, like, I needed a washer and dryer. I can do a lot of things, but like a washer and dryer
Laundromat's fun.
for the first year. But I did the math and we bought a gas dryer and we converted it to propane. And so we have a propane gas dryer, and that really saves a lot.
As far as power.
Life Done Free says, what was your greatest victories in your short journey?
What did we write down? Oh, that's my room stuff.
I stream Mexican TV. I call it get to live movies on a Fire Stick, 120 a year.
It's true.
I think some of our greatest journeys in our short time has been a bathroom. You think when you do this, like, you're like, yeah, you're living in the city and you've got all these amenities and you're like, yeah, I can go do the off-grid life. It's not going to be that hard. I can take it on. Well, I need a heating pad. And how are you going to charge that? And we were actually laughing.
We did the heating pad on one of those one batteries.
Like an Energizer battery. And then it's like getting a toilet. Man, that was a day to remember for me. Flushing it and knowing that I didn't have to take it out somewhere afterwards. Joe's like, yeah. Those were big deals. Laundromat sucks because none of the washers worked. And I swear those dryers take forever on purpose, so you'll keep pumping in more quarters.
Yeah.
Brett Boyd asked, how many acres did we buy? So we bought 80 acres. Funny, we were originally looking for 10. And
Yep.
we went in on the property with our parents, with my parents. And so none of us could decide on who wanted, what we wanted in 10 acres. And it just kept growing. And then this property came available and everybody at the same time was like, we love it.
Yep.
That's the one we want. And it just, one thing after the other, you
was a
show
blessing.
up and the Lord
about
blessed
that,
us.
too.
So we ended up with 80 acres and we showed up not really knowing what 80 acres even looked like. Our realtor actually came and walked the property for us.
He was great.
He's like, do you guys at least want to see some video? And we're like, we want that. We want that one. That one looks great. It has water,
Yeah.
it has trees, grass. Yeah. And so he came out and gave us a video and we were in love. I mean, we really
Yeah.
didn't realize how big 80 acres was until we got here. And then there was a couple days I think we spent on the land and we were like, our brain couldn't conceptualize like all the parts that we still hadn't even gone to and seen.
Well, we looked at some acreage up in northern Arizona,
Yeah.
and before we even decided with Kansas, we were trying to look around and
Tennessee.
all over. But even then, and I think those were maybe less than 40 acres. They were like 20-acre plots, but that's a lot, especially in Phoenix when you're on a quarter acre maybe, or not even. They don't even measure it in acreage. It's just square feet. How many square feet? Most of them are on like 20,000 square feet.
Right.
And that includes your house, your driveway, garage, and all that. But so yeah, seeing acreage and there's we have a couple videos on that stuff, but.
And like we've got neighbors, but they're across the street. They're down the way. Like
Yeah.
they're few and far between. It's nothing like you go back to the city and you're like shell shock. You don't realize how.
Because you go outside and it's like, yeah, howdy neighbor. You know,
Right. And here the
the
dogs
tool
can
man.
run. We don't even put leashes on them. I mean, that's unheard of in the city. So, yeah. Who managed the waste? You or Joe? We both managed the waste.
Yeah.
Well,
we would take, so there's what's the dump called? I call it the dump, but
transfer station.
yeah, what town though? It's Jackson County, yeah. So we just go to the county dump.
No, but managing it like as far as like we would bag
Are you talking about the brown water? Or the
brown
black-
art,
black
yeah,
water?
and then like the pee tank. So like we had a what kind of a toilet was that?
It was a composting
composting
toilet. Yeah, it
toilet.
was awesome.
That you like could put mulch in and turn it, and it had a little vent and everything.
We didn't do that.
We never did that. I just filled the like urine tank, and then
It
when
had
that
a-
would get full, you'd go take that out. and that it's
And
like,
there's a reason, like in a composting toilet, I'm sure most people know, but it keeps everything separate so that it's supposed to not stink, and it's also just it's bad when you mix the two. So
well, and you actually have two separate containers, like, and it's like positioned to your body. So when you sit on the toilet, it
what
was
was the
much
brand of it? Do you remember?
nature's
Nature's Own. something like-
nature's
it's
toilet,
Paul,
nature's something.
Paul Newman's Nature's Own toilet.
But it was hard to use from a standpoint of like Joe trying to use it, so he would just go pee outside because like trying to fit into this little hole.
I think
it was-
most guys in Kansas do.
It would be
anyway.
weird. And so I found it just to be nice in the winter, but then it started to get to like, you don't think about the fact that like if you're not on top of it,
Well,
it
when-
starts to stink in your house,
And when we had guests,
and you don't want that.
that was
yeah.
me.
So and like here's the deal. I don't mind doing it if I have a choice though.
Right.
I'm going to choose a toilet. Like the day we went and bought the toilet, I didn't even realize like choosing a toilet that was higher up because that little composting toilet's kind of low to the ground. And like you sit on it so much and then you get a real toilet and you're like, "Oh my gosh, this is actually really nice."
It's funny.
But those are the little things that you don't realize when you're like, "I can do this life. I got this."
Well, and you don't take a shower for granted.
Not at all.
There's a lot, I think, with the whole answer to that beginning question
Okay,
that
so
Lifetime Free posted.
Packrat says, I'm puzzled by people that are stressed by having a few extra acres over what they plan for. It isn't like you have to keep it painted or anything.
True.
No.
There is land management.
It
though, and that's
yes, there
kinda
is
rough.
land management, and that's a real thing. So we
I'm
don't
still
have a
struggling
tractor.
with it, yeah.
We bought a zero turn, and we didn't buy the very biggest zero turn that we could get. Looking back, my parents and I, we
good.
were like, we probably should have, but it feels like we get 40 swipes down and then it's growing again and we have to mow again.
Yeah.
And so it's not necessarily that it's like stressed out about it, but it's like when you know nothing. You've had a backyard and a brick wall. Like you know nothing,
Yeah.
and you show up and you've got all this stuff and you're like, how do I manage this? Like what does this look like?
Well, I think we learned that this year with pulling like standing dead trees out of the forest because it could be a fire hazard if we had a drought or something and having that much dead and
Well, and you've
all
done
the
a
other
good
stuff
job
that's
at
back there.
mowing a perimeter around where we're living and
Yeah.
just keeping it growing
Well,
back and
I
back
think that
and
helps
back.
with bugs and
Ticks
flies
and yeah.
field mice and all that stuff.
And so, yeah, like back to your point, we were actually talking to Bee, and she took a soil class last year where she learned about when to burn your field and to properly manage that for flies and ticks and weeds and all
We'll
the
probably do
different
that
things.
this year.
And we didn't meet it last year because it was like
we didn't
before
know.
the first frost.
Yeah,
But
something like that.
so we're looking forward this year to taking a different approach because honestly, like your first year, you can't even think about burning grass. You're trying to figure out how to get a toilet in. Like you're not thinking about that. And so you're just letting all of that go. And
Well,
now
and coming from Arizona, you don't, you burn grass and
you set the whole town on
yeah,
fire.
everything burns.
But now we're trying to figure out, now we're in the stage of like maintaining and growing on what we have so we can have more systems coming in.
yeah,
And
and just the day-to-day grind.
Crooked Little Homestead says, in still use, and I still use an outhouse nice and nippy in negative 53. You are not
Wow.
even lying. Like that takes some.
There's tricks though to keep the toilet seat warm.
Do you remember Dumb and Dumber when they were driving and they had
Yeah.
the snot frozen to their? That's what that negative 53. Oh my gosh.
That's cold.
I've always said you're the toughest person.
That is nasty.
You've overcome so much, Terminator. I love it. I love it when you share details.
Yeah.
Conserve Friends 9651 says, I'm in the suburbs, only 20 acres, so 80 acres seems like a whole county.
20's a lot.
20, and that's why I said we originally wanted 10 and we weren't
Yeah.
even thinking 80. But once you start like, okay, let's think about this. If we put mom and dad over here, how far do we want to,
Well, I've been having fun with it too. My daughter got me a metal detector for my birthday last year, the year before, and yeah, I've been doing some prospecting, and so far I found like 2 pounds of old barbed wire. That's it.
Well, Jewel, first RN3162 says, Jules, pray with winds that, hello, Jules, pray with winds do not get really high while you're sitting on the porta potty. Well, you don't even want to be sitting in our
Oh,
tiny
man.
house with the high winds. Tag, how do you look at a shower different from when you were a statist? Well, when I was a statist, I didn't worry about where my
Oh,
water was
gosh.
coming from. I just got in the shower.
This guy. Statist. Much more than that, my
Well,
friend.
so like you don't even realize you're building a bathroom.
Don't.
You have to figure out the cistern, where it's going, how it's coming in. We didn't know if we needed a pump, we needed electrical. These are all things we learned as we went and prayed a lot. Please show us the
Yeah.
way, Lord, because we don't know what we're doing. And it's funny how you start to learn and you're like, okay, well, let's do this. And you just take your time. Like, just be okay with taking a shower at your friend's house because it's okay. Like, you'll get it. And Tag was actually there with Joe helping him put the toilet in. And it was Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah.
We took our first shower in our own house, off grid. Off grid, no amenities. We don't have electric from the electric company. We don't pump in water from the water company. Like, we have a lagoon. We haul in our own water, and we have solar for power. So it's taught us
It
to be
works.
extremely efficient in what we do, how we keep the coffee pot on for only as long as you need to brew your coffee. It doesn't sit there and heat all day.
That uses 1,000 watts.
1,000 watts, and that's a lot of power right, when you're on a battery. So just little things like that, but we definitely don't take things for granted. I think every day since we've put the shower in, when I get in it and I take a hot shower, I say I am so grateful for this shower. And that's something I took for granted. I'm not even gonna lie. You live in the city, you have,
We took some cold showers here for a long time.
well, we had a hand pump. So I created a 3-gallon metal pressurized tank that had a hose on it with a spray nozzle. And Joe kind of took my idea and made like an outdoor shower for us. And if you boiled a gallon of hot water
There's 3 gallons.
and
So,
put
yeah.
2 cold in there, you would have a nice warm shower. And if you left it full with water all day, by nighttime in the sun, in the summer, it was ready without having to heat anything up with propane, any kind of fuel, because you don't think about that. You're like, oh yeah, whatever. And so he would heat my showers. We would take turns. One person would be pumping to keep the pressure in there
But
and maybe holding the sprayer while you were washing. And I mean, if you were our neighbor and you could see across 80 acres of land, you got quite the show. But I mean, you got to do what you got to do. And it helps you to not take those things for granted. Just saying.
definitely.
So, Scanes girl, that's so fancy when Casey's has unlimited plastic cups. I love you. Tell me if you need anything, babe. I'm right down the street.
She's great.
Mo Engineer, I have a composting toilet. It was called a separate.
Yep.
Separate.
Separate.
The problem I have is guests become a problem, like my 80-year-old mama. Oh my gosh, my
Yeah.
son-in-law. I think he almost like never wanted to come back and visit us again when he had to use the toilet.
Well, we had a toilet. Next time he came back, we had a pretty good.
Thank
operating
God,
bathroom.
because he was like probably like, I'm not going back to your parents, off-grid house. If you, it's so funny,
He's great.
and has grown to understand kind of what we're doing as opposed to
Yeah.
septic tanks and running water is crucial at 60. Well, that's part of why my parents haven't just come out here to jump on the bandwagon and live in the tent.
Right.
Because my mom's like, at my age, I'm in my 70s, I need running water. I need electricity.
Yep.
I need coffee in my coffee pot. So Jules says, evening RN. I've learned that when I first had it installed, I had to have the guy come and stake it down. The winds in Oklahoma can get wicked.
Wow.
I think you're talking about your outhouse. You had to have him come stake your outhouse down. Let's see. So, timber, natural grasslands, a place to put the front yard, junkyard, a quarter mile that away. The possibilities are endless. I'm just saying. Well, that's the problem. My papa is a mechanic and a pack rat mechanic, and I can fill a shipping container like nobody's business. So,
Yep.
from each of you, what is a skill you've learned that you're most proud of? I'll let you go first because you have gained
Well,
Lots of skills.
yeah, I'm still working on flush to the front, 3-4-5, or is it 3-4-6? Kidding. Um, no, it's I guess whatever it is that you're learning to do, I think the reason it does get easy is because it's like anything, the more you practice something, the more confidence you have in what you're doing. So I don't know. I think there's a lot. We were actually talking about, in the next house that we're going to build, all the different things that we would do different. And so I think that's pretty cool. But I don't know. I think for the most part, it's just being able to do all this 100% off grid. When you're city your whole life and make a decision to do that, I think it's, there's not a large percentage of people, I think, in the country that, and doing it in a way that, at least for us, we can still have, we're both professionals, so it's, I don't know. It's I don't want to say it's like the city, but we've got you know what? It would be learning to manage our power. And that's probably it. Learning to manage, power, water, those kind of resources and what that looks like.
For me, it's hands down tile. I learned how to lay tile, and I love it. I am such a perfectionist. It is my job.
She's good at it.
I don't mind taking my time. I want to. Please don't lay it if you don't have it just right. I'll get to it. But for me, it's laying tile. That was my skill that I... Yeah, Gypsy says the lifestyle is constantly teaching me patience.
Amen, brother.
And that's the truth. I mean, and humility.
Amen.
Like, I can't tell you how many times I've had to humble myself and just realize, A, I don't know, and B, I need to ask.
I still struggle with that.
I learn a little faster. But I just don't want to be in a spot. I would rather take the time, like Tag and I were talking, we spent a lot of time with Tag and B mentoring us from a standpoint of what they've done and what they wouldn't do again if they could do it over. And when you take it from a standpoint of not comparing yourself with other people, because, when we moved here, Tag and B were 5 years in. Now they're almost 7 years in.
Yeah, a lot of experience, a lot of ask me how I know, like.
And you can't compare yourself. You got to just take it from hey, they said that they didn't put an outside hose bib in when they first installed water. Let's make sure we get at least one. Well, now we have two because we thought of that, what they would do different. So it can help you shape your choices, and, the other thing I would say, the biggest skill I haven't learned, but it has definitely been something that's been imparted on me is the emotional balance of this life. Because it's great to say you're off grid and everything, but there is an emotional change to what you're doing. Like you had said that one day you came in and you said, I feel like just solving all the problems of this homestead, like everything falls on me to figure it out. Like if we don't know, I have to figure it out. And it's because you are the electrician, you are the plumber, you are the fireman, you are the landscaper.
You made a t-shirt for that.
Right. And it's that's why you feel that way though, and that can be overwhelming. And so you have to learn how to manage that emotion. And some days I'm way better at it than others. Some days I have got it down. Some days I know what I'm doing. And other days I feel like, what was I thinking? Like, can I do this for the next 50 years? Because that's a reality. Like we're growing this and we're building this, but at the same time, like, can you keep doing this for the long haul?
That was a good point, Gypsy.
So,
Patience, really.
Sorry, I'm a little behind on the. Pack Rat says winter winds coming from below while you're on the throne are not the most agreeable way to wake up. Well, definitely like a cold shower. It's just like our ancestors. Terminator says it's the way of life. And that's the other thing. You have to remember where we've all come from. We came from a lot of people who founded a country and wanted something better. And so you endured things. Like if you couldn't make it in the East, you moved to the West, you migrated, you did things on where you could go. So it's important to know your limitations, what you can do. And always remember too, this is something I love about you, is you're always willing to learn.
Yeah. Thanks.
It's hard to come at this with a growth mindset when you don't know how to lay tile and you have to lay a whole house of tile and you're like, man, if I mess this up, that's $1,000 worth of material. And there's some expensive mistakes. I mean, are you wanting to talk about a mistake right now that we've got to go back and address? It's a very real one,
Well, I'm going to talk about a different one.
Okay.
Which is running over a solar panel with a rented excavator. So
Cost you money.
Not just one. I think I rolled over 2 or 3. So yeah, but those are, and that's another thing I've learned, that everything's recoverable. You can recover from, when they moved the house on here, the back of it buckled. I had taken the loft out of the house, and that was kind of some structural support that was there the first time that the guy moved it. And so the second time, we have a video of it, when he went to put I think it's called a donkey, basically up on the house, the back of it buckled. So
we had to do house repair.
yeah, thanks to Tag, I was like, hey man, how do I pop this back out and brace it? And he's like, oh, that's easy, man. And he's got to ask me how I know. And I'm
Well,
like,
and you're
"All right."
thinking my house just collapsed. Like, I don't know. There's a
Well,
hole.
I
Like,
thought there was a lot more to it, and there wasn't. It pretty much fixed it, made a fancy brace and pry and all this fun stuff, but it worked out. But
Nito says, I bought 2.5 acres in Arkansas and built a 12 by 24 cabin while living in a travel trailer, carrying water, composting toilet, 6 deep cell batteries with a generator for power. But that was 25 years ago. That's quite the setup, man.
and
Impressive.
that's pretty awesome. That long ago, 25 years ago, right around Y2K.
Well, and like when you started waking up thinking, hey, maybe I need to do some deep cell batteries.
Yeah,
That's
but
awesome.
that is awesome.
How do you balance the need to learn everything and the need for community? I don't know that I've balanced it. Have you balanced it? I don't know. Balance, that's a strong word. I think you're constantly asking questions. I know that I tend to be like, I need help.
I
In
pray
a
a
sense
lot.
of like,
That's it. It's brought me closer to the Lord, because I realize that I don't know. I don't have it figured out, but I know He does. And so I think each step that we take is really a step of faith, But I think that's with anything in life, whether you're in the city or in the country.
but you don't have community in the city. I can definitely say that. And
No,
the
and so
need to learn
there's-
everything. Everybody in the community brings something to
There's-
the table.
Right, there's a void there, definitely.
You can't know everything.
No.
And when somebody brings to the table what they know, and then that person's willing to help, it's like Indiana Mike. We were
Right.
doing some electrical work in there, and Joe was like, I don't want to make a mistake. It's a big mistake.
And yeah, I really I didn't have the courage to go flip the switch, because I'm like, man, if I've got something like wired wrong, and just understanding electricity. My cousin's really good at it too, but yeah, Indiana Mike, he's
And that's an example of
I
community.
think I sent him a diagram with all these wires, and he's like, yeah, man, that'll work.
Well, and then you have somebody
I'll
else
flip
who
the
has
breaker,
experience,
yeah, it works.
and he's giving you confidence. You're able to go flip the breaker. And when he said to me, "Okay, I'm gonna go flip the breaker. If you see sparks," and I said, "What?
Yep.
If I see sparks?
way.
What are you talking about? If I see sparks, like
Yeah.
that's a fire."
That's the mud room back there. by the
So,
way.
yeah. Oh, Alaska, not Arkansas.
Oh, I couldn't see that far. AK, Alaska.
We were so laughing. I just got my eyes checked, and the doctor's like, "Yeah, your prescription's not good enough." So my prescription's still not good enough. And all day long, I was reading things wrong, and Joe was like, "What the heck?"
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think the
what it is.
emotional side of it comes from a lot of like doubt. Are you doing the right thing? But then when you look at like overall how much we've been able to learn and to contribute, like it isn't just been building our homestead. We've helped tons of people that have been trying to do the same
And
thing.
that's a good point that, I've personally been encouraged by quite a few people in the community, and at different ages too.
Jeff and
There's
Louise, they live off grid, and they
super
have
encouraging.
accomplished a
Um,
lot.
Yeah, a tremendous amount. Um, and but yeah, and all over, I guess. There's, our neighbors down the street. They've been super encouraging and helpful. They actually helped us pour our last concrete pour. And, we couldn't have done it without them. They came over, and that was awesome.
It's encouraging to see people make
all over.
gains, though.
Yeah,
like
there's
like
been-
Skanes moved here, and we were able to help put up.
It was good to see that, too.
A dwelling for her that she's been able to continue to grow on and build her
Yeah.
skills on. So it wasn't just like she needed people to do this job for her. It was like everybody came together, and
I
tried
learned
to
a lot
really.
from that one too. I learned a lot about roofs from that one. I've been learning a lot about roofs lately.
Tag's question.
Well, it's got
What
a new
makes you
one.
think that this life was made for you? Well, you're gonna laugh, but I could garden. I can garden. I want a farm.
I don't know, man. I don't have an answer.
Fear not farm. Hello.
Hello.
No, really, I think that it was waking up
Missed
to
a whole
what
bunch.
was happening, the oppression of different things. I didn't. Like being told in Arizona I was using too much water to water my plants, and I had a tiny backyard. Realizing I wanted to keep chickens and learn about chickens, and I couldn't have a rooster. And when you go to get baby chicks, they don't exactly tell you, yeah, those ones are those, unless you buy sexed birds, and I didn't know.
Your mom also was super helpful because they started learning a lot about food and educating us, I think, on
Freeze drying.
well, that not just
Things
food
like
storage,
that.
but healthy, eating good, and you can't really do that if you're not able to grow your own food, and that's kind of what spawned it all. I think.
Well, it
if
really
you think
starts.
back
You grow
when.
some potatoes and you grow some cucumbers and you start pickling, pickles and stuff, and you're like, hey, I want a little more. And then you realize, like, I remember your famous line you said to me was,
With the strawberries?
I said I want a farm, and you're like,
Oh.
let's make something of this backyard we have now, and when we outgrow it, we know we're ready for that. And so we started with one raised bed, and by the end, when we moved out, there was a path to walk through all the beds. We had sunflowers as tall as the house. And so it was like, okay, let's move. So we moved the acreage, and it was like, we got there and it was like the shell shock of like, oh, where do we even start? Because remember, all those plans were made in a house with amenities, with water, with, electricity, with all of your stuff. You're not living in a shipping container. You have everything that's been normal. So your brain isn't really computing what you're getting ready to go through.
That's true.
I need to make $500,000 before major economic crash. Don't we all? What is the journey of finding land like for you two? Well,
It was fun.
it started out just us two, where we were like, yeah, we're gonna go find land, and our daughter and the three of us went out looking. And then my parents were like, hey, we want to do that too. Let's start looking at what we could do together. And so then they were like, well, we don't really know that we want to leave Phoenix. And so that's really what started us looking into northern Arizona.
And Marshall's brother too.
And
I think
Marshall's brother
moved up there.
Yeah, Papa's
Robert.
brother has some property up north in Strawberry, and they've been living off grid, but they can get no water. They live in a rock climate. They don't have like we live on, like, we're in
Yeah.
the wheat belt, I mean, the bread belt. We're
Yeah.
definitely like in that area where we have fertile soil. My topsoil is crazy.
Yeah, we got 60% is rolling prairie land, and then
Mountainous terrain, as my mom would
it's
say.
just nice hills, and then woods. The other 20% is woods, and
And a
It's a
lot
good
of it,
mix.
when we
It's a
first
good
started,
mix.
I remember I told this to Tag. I was driving, we were looking, because we drove everywhere, wanted to see what's what. And so we're driving, and I'm looking at these farms, and I'm like, Lord, how does anyone even afford something like that? That big, beautiful red barn with this rolling hills of grass and cows and chickens. Like, how do you even afford that? And I just thought it was way out of my reach. I just thought
Well,
it was
and we looked in Tennessee too first. We did a lot of that.
We
in
went
Tennessee.
everywhere. Kentucky, Ohio. I mean, we looked everywhere.
We did look at. Yeah.
And then we came through, kind of coming to the conclusion, and really it wasn't necessarily the land that brought us here. Like Tag and B, the community, that was a huge draw because you can't do anything alone.
Yeah.
I don't, we talk about how fast we've done things and all of that, but a lot of the speed was in our community,
It really
having
was,
the
and that's-
ability to ask questions and get help.
That was the defining moment of why we even picked,
Coming here or
we
going
kept,
anywhere
We kept
else.
coming back to here, even before Atlanta, just
Right.
kept coming back to Kansas. And yeah, so, and I think, again, it was part of that journey to lead us here.
And it's been one of those things where you're doubting everything all the way, but you're like, well, there's other people coming together to do this same thing. We're all like-minded, we met Tag and B online, actually. There was all kinds of stuff happening, and we were actually talking about holding the line.
Yeah.
And this was way before them, and he came on and he goes, all right, everybody, hold the line. Don't give an inch. And I was like, did you just hear what he said? I've got to talk to him. And Joe was like, calm down. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. We're going to Kansas. And he's like, listen, we haven't even met these people. And I'm like, messaging Tag, and he messaged back.
That's a funny story.
Yeah. And
I wrote a
and
rap song about it.
how did they not scare us off? Well, everybody's as crazy as we are, so we fit right in. But at Fear Not Farm
Yeah.
said, we bought 40 acres in central Oklahoma, am older, farmhouse in need of repairs, thinking of maybe selling it after we get some stuff fixed up, possibly buy something outright without a mortgage. And
Yeah.
that's part of the life done free, is however you can do it. We were actually talking, if we didn't sell our other property, we wouldn't
Yeah.
have had the money to buy the land.
And as far as I don't know as far as how bad the repairs are, but a lot of times a little putty and paint go a long way, and as far as selling it. So, and I'm saying this because I sold some homes in the past, and a lot of times when buyers are looking, that if you're going to spend the money to do it, they would rather do it the way they want it. So a lot of times, people don't really have to,
Have it perfect.
yeah, have it perfect. It just depends on, I guess, on what you're trying to
And what you're trying to accomplish, yeah.
get out of it.
But let's see. Fear Not Farm. I'm in North Central Oklahoma. So yeah, putty and paint make me the carpenter I ain't. Yeah. So now we're kind of in that stage where like I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna start working on a garden section. I planted asparagus and stuff last year. B helped me get 2 swales planted that had everything from, oh gosh, tomatoes to peppers to
Birdhouse gourds.
yeah, we did
loofah,
gourds and but
sunflowers.
it's again like I'm a backyard gardener and I was used to having like these little garden beds, and now I've got all this land, and so it's having a plan. It's
Yeah.
getting a plan, and so reading books, trying to figure out what's my zone 0. What do I want to have in that zone 0?
And I'm learning there's different tax benefits. So if there's row crops up, my neighbor told me a couple good pointers. Just having sunflowers on a percentage of the land would help offset other taxes. So
And putting trees on it would, like fruit trees, would
Yep.
make it an orchard.
then that's an orchard. So
you know.
there's some.
Finding out those
tips
little
there.
fine things. But what's your favorite experience at someone else's homestead?
Well, gosh,
It's not that it's my favorite, but I always have a good time when the person at the homestead is organized with how they're doing their
yeah, when we do like a work day or something like that. Yeah,
stations, jobs, what you want people to work on.
I had, I think when everybody went over to Gypsy and Lou's house,
Yeah.
that was a lot of fun. There was, there was breakfast being made and cooked. There was, music playing. There was, kids learning how to do stuff, and digging trenches and doing the hard work.
Walls being built,
There was
solar
walls,
being
there was,
installed
yeah, there was so much happening at once.
simultaneously.
And yeah, it was neat to see it, really come together. I had a lot of fun at that. But there's been a lot. There's been so many. It's just fun to see other people's style and how they're how they're managing, their food forest, or their animals. So we've been to quite a few where, I've seen somebody's coop where I'm like, man, that's a really good idea. I think I'll try that. Or, didn't realize, where you have your water is pretty important. So,
How you store your wood,
yeah.
seeing how other people do
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
Watching Nikki run from that cow. That cow was the biggest cow I'd ever seen. They had a Holstein Jersey mix.
You
and
know,
this
when
thing
Moo Moo
was-
Buckaroo came around, and I didn't really understand the gravity of it until I saw the size of that cow. Yeah, it's huge.
Conserve Friends 9651. Since I'm in my 70s, I'm about beyond making that leap. So I'm surely enjoying hearing about everyone's successes there. Good job. With the condition of our nation, you all may be the survivors. Oh, Lord. What do people consider that should consider before choosing this life? I'm going to say something back to Conserve Friends because my mom's in her 70s, and I think we've had these very real conversations. Yoke up with somebody that you have so much to contribute, and so much that if that was something you wanted to do, like I could use my mom here to feed the chickens. I could use my mom here to feed us. I could use my mom here for encouragement. I could use my mom here. I mean, the list goes on and on.
She has many a
A
talent.
Sam's Club partner, somebody to help, with everything.
Yeah.
But we're all of value, and I think it's like Tag and I were talking today, and he said something so important, and he was like, you made a commitment to this life. Now let's commit and let's do something with it. And it was just kind of like, you can't look back on it, and you can't think, well, hey, like, am I doing what's right? If it's something you want to do, then be encouraged to do it, and maybe find people you can do it with, because that was our whole reason, like we said, for coming here, was yoking up with people that could help us, and we could help them. Like, we are contributors. We want to be a part of something that is contributing.
There's good days and bad days, but I think for the most part, you keep moving forward, and with that in mind, to the good things ahead.
What do people not consider that should consider before choosing this life? It's hard. It's hard work. You have to figure out where everything is coming from, all of your resources, and you are all of those things.
Well, it's energy management, it's time management, it's
changing the way you think about things.
Oh yeah.
Even how much money you have to earn is different.
Even yeah.
And so it's considering that. Who was it? We had somebody on the live tag that was talking about what they did was they completely deprived themselves of all of the modern amenities and things that would be comfort, so that they could get used to living as if that wasn't really they didn't have those things. So like if you didn't use a cell phone, we went without a cell phone for a while and found it to be extremely hard. And now with all of this like Meta stuff and the way that they like check your ID and like who you are and how you can get into your stuff, it'd be almost impossible to not have a phone. But to try to limit how much you rely on the things of this world and how much can you actually survive on your own, and that starts to create you for what you should probably be considering before you consider this life.
Well, and
you got to learn skills you didn't know you even had to learn, like cutting wood and boiling water. Like we never had to boil water to take a shower before.
it's back to managing your inputs and outputs and
Trash,
how that,
animals. I mean, I
There's
could
so
go
much.
on and on about the things that you think are okay because you have everything right. Everything's emotionally sound. You're making an income every 2 weeks, whatever it is that your life is, and you've grown complacent to, and you're used to it, and it's mundane and it's repeating. And
getting
so
out of your comfort zone.
and then you get out of your comfort zone and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't handle this anymore. I just want to have a little peace and quiet. And it's like, well, maybe you need to, and so that's the stuff, like considering that it is skeins. Speak about the emotional side of it, babe. Like it's hard. You think it's all great. And she has the most positive attitude.
That's a big key.
And
You
that's
gotta
the-
have a,
If you don't have a good attitude, my bad attitude, when I let it out, it's a bad attitude and it
Same here.
sucks. And
Yeah.
you have to be willing to
you got to
fall
manage
back
that.
to the good
It's
attitude.
another thing to manage, and so
Mhm. Management. That's the biggest thing. Consider that management of the things
Yeah.
you don't know. You don't know that you got to manage your propane because you got, that's how you heat your dryer and your water.
yeah, systems, having
Systems. There you go. I find, Brett Boyd, I find as you get older,
Oh, whoops, sorry.
you get limited at what you can manage. So it's a balance between cash and effort and not running out of both and creating systems, Brett, that you can manage later on. So like it's great for me in my 40s to sit here and say,
And community helps out with that because you don't know what systems you got to create.
and you don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
At any given time something could happen and you're in the hospital or you're, you needing to go back to where you were from for some reason. Family needs you and you've got to move somebody or, whatever. And so you never know exactly what you're up against. But it is a good balance and trying to think ahead of what you might need in the future. Not just cutting 5 bins of wood. If you can cut 6, that gives you 1 extra for next year, kind of a thing. What advice would you give a couple on maintaining a great relationship while building from scratch? Joe and I we definitely build our relationship around the Lord, and having that guidance and asking God what we should do helps us to understand that there's times when it's not easy. And
Well, and we're both crazy, so that's really the thing, And so it's like, I ask a lot of times, like, help me not lose, act like I'm losing my mind, like, and so I think there's, back to what Gypsy said earlier, patience, and patience really just comes from letting people be themselves and work through it because you don't know if you don't go, and so you just hang on and know that again you have good days and bad days, and a lot more times there's more good days than there are bad days, and you just keep moving forward.
well, we also
That's
have realized too,
growth.
you rely on each other.
Yeah.
When it's you and you,
Yeah.
how mad can we really stay? Like we've got to figure it out. And there's been a lot of times where like even Joe has said to me, yeah, humor, that's a huge one.
Yeah, I'm pretty funny.
Humor. And and trying to just understand that grace and forgiveness. Like I can't tell you, it doesn't necessarily have to even be just me, or you could be upset about something and then the next thing you know, 5 minutes later, hey, you want a pot of coffee? Yeah, let's make a pot of coffee. You don't hold on to things because it can really limit how much you can get done when you both have the same goal. So not attacking each other is a huge, huge thing.
Yep.
We're in it together. What are you guys doing?
Farming old school.
And your age limits you. Well, we haven't even started farming anything yet.
But I am getting older, and
Well, and starting to think too, like we're working towards eventually a tractor. He bought a
Right.
thing that will like till up the ground, trying to make my garden manageable. And do I see
just a little bit at a time.
swinging an axe? Well, I don't swing an axe now. We actually just invested in
We did for a while, and then
I did not swing an axe. I
thought
tried
you
a couple
tried.
times,
Yeah,
and
you
when my
tried.
axe got stuck and I didn't have it to get out, I was done.
She
But
did all right.
we bought me a tiny still. My mom bought me a tiny still
Chainsaw. Yep.
and then we just invested. This was our Christmas present to each other this year. We bought a wood splitter.
Well, so the first year we didn't really understand wood management, because winter's coming, winter's here, and that usually starts in now until winter again. But yeah, and then we ended up borrowing a wood splitter, and we liked it so much because it's much easier than swinging an axe, and yeah. So
Well, and we
this
were able
year-
to turn and burn a lot of wood with,
Yeah.
using, it's that capital energy. Like we're
Yeah.
not wasting and like I was shoveling rock and hurt myself and ended up having to take a couple days off work because I couldn't walk. So you have to
Yeah.
consider like that investment in buying that piece of equipment we will never regret buying a log splitter.
no, yeah.
And that's again what I was talking about, like buying it now, anticipating my use of it, you know, in 20 years. Am I going to still be able to get wood cut out of it? And then if something happens to my husband, God forbid, what can I do to help myself? If something happens to me, God forbid, what can he do to help himself? And giving each other grace when one is having a bad day or when things are not going good. 100%. How many times have you quit homesteading in your mind? Not so much now as I used to, only from the standpoint of not knowing what I was doing made it was overwhelming. Now that we've gotten a handle on it,
It's never been. I don't think I've ever thought of it in my mind as far as quitting it. It was more getting through the struggle, but you know, I'm believing that you know, you got to get yourself up over that hill, and so yeah, I don't, you know, again, there's good days and bad days, and so there. But as far as quitting, I told a friend from Arizona the other day, you know, he asked me how off-grid life was going, and I said I doubt I'll ever, you know, I don't think I could ever go back to living, you know,
in the city.
basically, yeah, relying on other entities to provide my energy and provide my water, and I don't know, it's definitely.
Well, so we went back to Phoenix for Christmas, and we're visiting our family, and we're driving down, you know, these neighborhoods, and it's all lit up and it's loud, and there's just always something going on. And we looked at, you know, these houses are $300,000-$400,000, and you
They're a
know,
lot
and
more
that's
now.
well, yeah. And I mean, you're looking and you're
Yeah, they're
thinking
like-
that little tiny house with that backyard crammed up to that person right there. And that's what you're working every day for. You don't have any privacy. You don't have any skills you're learning. You could be making like a little backyard garden like I was. Like you could be trying to do some skills, but like real homesteading, are you learning? Like, are you doing tallow on, you know, are you rendering, you know, lard? What's really happening in these houses? And you just realize people are so busy working. They don't have time for skills and all of that because you're trying to pay for all that.
And consuming, you
And
know, just
consuming.
constant,
They're creating consumers. And,
You know.
and do you want to just consume or do you want to produce? And that was really kind of something that we established on keeping the why, you know. I could see myself swinging an axe at 80, maybe a small one like a hatchet. You making kindling, are you? Brett Boyd, I could have done the tag move, but the more I looked, the more it didn't fit as I'm aging out. But I dug a well, even when they said I couldn't, but they gave me a permit and have raised beds auxiliary power.
That's awesome. Congratulations on digging that well.
It's kind of Joe's passion right now.
Well, it's funny. I've been watching old German well builders that literally go down foot by foot and stone mason the inside, and you know, and then you'll see they do it in you know, a different country in Africa somewhere where they're using a bicycle pump, and it's pretty interesting when you get into well digging.
No, it's not annoying when someone wrote "Winter's coming." You just know you got to hurry up and cut wood. Luckily, the person writing it was fronting me some wood for my first winter.
Yeah, I had to wash that window a lot.
And so they'll pull you over if they can't, you know, see through your window or look
No,
at your
because of the
license
writing.
plate.
I'd go to get gas. I'm like, oh. One time it was so clever. I looked in my rearview mirror and everything was written backwards, so that in my mirror I could see it forward. So smart guy.
Packrat says this is the most everything within an hour of Nashville, Tennessee. 300,000 on a little lot. Plus, you're probably under municipal codes to say you can't to anything you want to do, and that is so the truth. And
I had a lot of fun in Nashville.
I did. Tennessee
really good
itself
time.
was beautiful, but
Love
it was
Tennessee.
kind of like, you know, it was exactly what you're saying. I
You're the
agree.
only 10 I see.
David Strom says, what part of Phoenix? I have family in Chandler and Levine.
Oh, wow. Yeah, we're all familiar with that area.
Yeah, and
So-
kind of spread out as the valley is getting bigger.
We're
We
more
have-
on the west side.
We have family in Surprise. We have family in Queen Creek. We have family in Phoenix, like actual Phoenix. Our daughter's a hairstylist out there, so she's, you know.
It's giant, though. There's tons of people.
Mo Engineer says a man is rich in proportion to the number of things he can afford to let alone. That's a good saying.
Smart guy.
Good job, Joe. That line is always a winner. So yeah, we actually, what would you have done different? Oh gosh, I would have started by putting the tiny house on concrete.
That was, well, yeah.
We just put it on the ground when we first moved here. We didn't know, and the guy called pretty quick and was like, "Hey, I'm ready to deliver your house." So we put it on the ground.
Yeah, I don't know if, because if you fail to plan to fail. Because I'm thinking about, well, I would have planned to do this here, or to have this here. And we started to at the very beginning, but reality kicks in.
And our plans weren't working. The land wasn't
And-
level. The grade of where we
There's
wanted to
nothing
put.
level. You-
Half bubble off plum, where are you?
That's it. And I actually said that the other day. I'm like, well, we're a half bubble off plum. That works. But it doesn't. So,
I think we really had a blessed journey. It's been listening to the friends,
think
getting
I'll do
help
anything
where you can get help. And yeah, I don't really know, like, doing anything different would kind of mean we have regret. And I don't know that I have regret. I mean, we have been able to successfully say we came to do what we wanted to do, and that was to build a base camp that would house
yeah, now
our
we just
needs.
keep moving forward. And I'm excited about that. So,
And our
I think it's
goal
gonna
is
go
that
really
this
good.
house would become a place that could be like our guest house for when our daughter comes to visit or whatever.
Yeah.
We would have a place that someone could,
yeah.
kind of shack up and have the amenities
It's a
that
nice
they need
camp.
and
Nice
enjoy, kind of our land. But I built my first cabin in treated posts. Worked very well for me. Bush Radical does a lot of that, and I really
that's
like
awesome.
that. Like that thought.
Yeah.
What am I looking forward to? A cow. This year, my goal is a cow. Joe's supposed to start building cow infrastructure. But that's what I was saying about, like, your first year, you're not even thinking about that. We got chickens the day we moved here, and a pig, 600-pound pig. And so we were forced to do animals right away. But that,
Yeah.
if I could say, yeah, that might be something, give yourself a second to get established before you take care of animals. I'll never forget Joe saying, why do we have animals when we don't even know how we're going to take care of ourselves, but we have to take care of these animals out here.
Yeah,
And that was a really good point.
That was a good struggle.
Yeah, but we learned a lot, and I definitely can say I can incubate a bird, I can raise a bird, I can
Yeah.
kill a bird, I can eat a bird. Like, I definitely know what I'm doing in that sense. Maybe not perfectly, but I'm there. I feel a lot more confident. We did our last butcher by ourselves.
Yeah.
We did 5 turkeys alone.
I caught a cardinal today. I think I told you the story, but earlier the sun was kind of going down. I was closing up chicken coops, making sure everybody was going to do what they're going to do. But there was a really pretty cardinal stuck in one of the runs, and it couldn't figure out how to get out. I had the door open and everything, and it just wanted to fly in the corner. So I went over, and if I had never lived this life before, like, I don't think I would have had the courage, because birds have beaks and they're going to bite you, which it did. It didn't hurt. But I was able to catch it. So I caught the cardinal earlier today, but I didn't get it on video as I released it.
So you're looking forward to catching the
I
cardinal
had a nice
again?
moment with it, nice Disney moment.
No, I'm looking forward to building our systems more than anything. We're growing. We poured a concrete pad for our cistern, so when we fill the water, he pulls the trailer onto a concrete pad. And you might be thinking to yourself, oh, yeah, that's a big deal. It is when you're pulling a trailer and it's snowed and it's mud and it's yucky everywhere, and you're trying to get this freaking 286-gallon tote up on this, and get it right where you need it to go. So the concrete for us was a level up. And those were last year's goals that we were like, we want to have this done by this time. And keeping those little things that, like milestones, have helped us. Like I said,
Even learning how to do concrete.
the year's coming to an end. I want to have the mudroom done. We tracked snow in the house all year last year, and it was horrible. Let's get the mudroom done. So we made it a priority. And that has been our thing. So looking forward to
About 80% done.
building our house, getting the next thing we came for, building those systems.
I just turned 50. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I went all the way to the bottom.
No, that's okay. I have water, food, and power, and it makes me stay connected. If it if I was 20 years younger, I might close a little different, but I'm on the other side of the hill. Yeah, and you know, it's funny that leads to somebody asked how old are we? He just turned 50 and I just turned 45.
Yep.
So and that was the other thing too, like he had a very established job at Procter and Gamble. You know, I was a teacher, like we had it kind of like we've got it figured out. We can make money and be consumers. Want to be a consumer with me?
No, I'm the number one rat in the rat race.
I'm the number one rat. And so for us to decide to do that, it's kind of like, what are you guys doing? Are you crazy?
Yeah, a lot of people weren't too excited.
I had to remove a hawk from one of my coops a couple weeks ago.
Wow.
Man, a hawk was in there eating eggs.
I see now. I don't know if I would have had enough courage to
hawk?
handle a hawk. That'll
Jeez.
definitely take a finger off.
Talons on that sucker.
Not a cardinal.
Low engineer. How do you plan on watering the garden and animals? So when we first moved here, Kansas, B was like, I don't water my garden. Like Kansas waters itself. And so I was kind of like, oh, that's great.
Yeah, they had really good success last year. I don't know about this past year. Well, they did. I could tell by the size of their garden, but their swales and how that held so much moisture.
And our swales were built so that when it rains, it actually like soaks up in the whole bottom of that. So we didn't have. I haven't actually
I'm
hand
not
watered
sure.
anything.
No, we haven't.
And then the animals, since we tote water in, Joe, we have a 1,500 gallon cistern that's buried. And so Joe just puts water in that and then we just pump it out of like the hose bibs into 5-gallon jugs.
Yeah.
And Joe and I tote everything over to the animals and just water them there. With a cow, this is where, again, systems.
Yeah.
Like,
We don't have that figured out.
no,
yet.
and B has like
I don't have any
gravity fed
idea.
totes and she's got wells. You know, there's different things like that help her. Are you all not able to drill a well? Well, so
Not yet.
because the amount of money that they want for it, and we're still paying our solar. So it's like when you're trying to do things and you've got to build, like our money only goes so far. So it's like, what can we do to get us to here?
Yeah.
Well, then if we do end up when we dig a well, that cistern can then be filled as a overflow.
Yeah.
And so it kind of is like one system does good for now, but it will lend to the overall as we get done, building. Can you talk more about your systems for heat, water, and power? So we use a wood stove for heat
Yep.
solely in the house. We have a 350 square foot house. It's probably
It's about that.
450 now with the addition.
Maybe.
And so it heats it very well.
Yeah, it keeps it good. Plus, it's insulated well on the addition portion. I think we did some extra insulation on the other side, but it seems to hold, holds the heat. And then we use an air conditioner in the summertime, and it stays pretty cool. And we'll run that nonstop.
A window air conditioner. He
yeah.
puts it in
Yeah.
to the window, and we just try to. And it wasn't big enough last year. We have a mini split that we have not installed.
Yeah, we'll probably put that in. this
We
year.
bought the mini split before we moved out here, kind of trying to buy what we anticipated we would need. And we didn't have enough power to power the mini split before we got the solar. So we were just using like an Anchor battery system and an Energizer battery. And we just didn't have the power to power that. So now that we do, we were actually talking about installing the mini split this year because it would make a huge difference next year.
Yeah.
I mean, just having a place to come in out of the heat when you're working is huge.
Yeah, and
so big.
I like to, I guess, overtax things or test things to see how much they'll work. And last year we produced quite a bit more power than we actually used, and so, yeah, I'm confident that we can run a mini split and.
Yeah, so we have what size?
Off of solar.
Is it 50? What size is our solar?
48 kilowatt hours storage, and
So we have 2 batteries and an inverter.
that's 13 yeah, 13,000 watt, or I think it's 13 kilowatt
Yeah.
inverter.
And so the other thing too is that solar system would, easily power the window unit and us not have to stress about it.
Yeah.
And it's such a small space. But what we found is the more that we added onto the house, the less the less it started cooling everything. And so you'd have to be like directly in front of it to get any kind of relief. And again, you're not thinking, you're just trying to put systems
No, we've
in
got
place.
ceiling fans in. That kind of helps with
Yep.
airflow. And
The power was the biggest thing because that allowed us to move water. So when we were thinking
Yeah.
of like, what are the steps to getting, whatever, you've got your house, you've got your whatever, but now what? And so it was like, well, we can't move water and have running water to do dishes and flush a toilet until we get a cistern. And then
Well,
the cistern,
yeah.
but you got to have power to
For the
run the
pump.
pump for the cistern.
Yeah.
And so that kind of started that journey where it was like power first.
Yeah.
And then once we had that, it was water. And like I said, we chose the cistern. And funny, I was going to buy a 750-gallon cistern because I'm like, that's a lot of water. And Tag was like, just don't buy the biggest you can and don't chintz on that.
that's
because
about
if,
how much water we use a week.
right. So
probably.
we'd be filling it every week if I had done that.
Yeah.
Where right now he has to just keep an eye on it every other week. He tries to get, water every once in a while, but it's not near as much as every week.
No.
And again, monitoring, like you don't leave.
Yeah, you may just manage it.
I went to our daughter's house and her fiance does dishes and he flips the thing on and the faucet's going. And he turns around and he gets into the kitchen, into the refrigerator, and he comes back and the water's still running. And I'm like, oh my God, I never would have left that water
Yeah.
running like that so
I-
long.
I do here. I don't really. I don't keep an eye on it. I keep it full, and so I can. If I want to take a long shower, I take a long shower because I know the cistern's full. Water's cheap, for the most part. We don't pay much. I'd say maybe 15 to 20 bucks a month.
Right.
On I'd probably save 3,000 or 4,000 gallons. So well, whatever that math is, but it's cheap enough where I can just keep it full. And I when she does dishes, she turns the water on, does a dish, and turns it off, turns it on, and
It's very B.
I let it run because it's just like
I'm
just like the
conserving.
electricity. Like I got all the lights on, and I'll run whatever. How will I know what it can't do if I don't if I don't test it?
Do you have the south side of your home exposed to the sun? Yes, we do, but
There's some
that
trees.
the south side has trees in front of it because that was the only way we could really let's put the house behind these trees so that everybody doesn't know we're here. Because remember, we were half a mile back when we first moved in. And so we kind of built as close to the trees, and now that we've built the mud room, it extends even closer to the trees. You can't even really see the front door from the street. What kind of insulation did you use for the walls and ceiling?
That's a good question. So
The house itself was already insulated and had shiplap on it.
yeah, and it's that
It's anything that we've
R13. It's that real. It's that super.
we actually use our 30 for any of the additions.
We did, yeah, and we built actually a thermal barrier in between the outside wall and the inside wall. Everywhere there was water or plumbing, I saw something one day. I just happened to click on YouTube, and this guy was building it. He started explaining the thermal barrier. So basically, it was a 2-inch gap between two 4x4 walls. 2 to 3 inch gap. I think we might have done a 3 inch. So we insulated that with the air gap, and then
And we've had no
with
pipes
drywall.
freeze. We've had
So, yeah,
no water
yeah, that's-
frozen.
we were a little worried when we went to Phoenix not too long ago, but the temperature here was good.
It wasn't freezing, and we didn't had any pipes burst. We haven't had. I mean,
That
knock
was a
on wood.
blessing,
It's
yeah.
that double. So it wasn't necessarily about the insulation, more so than the building the two walls and putting everything in between that.
Yeah, because it kept everything.
Ditch the window
good to
unit,
go.
mini it, much more efficient. Yeah,
Right
I think
on.
that's where we're heading this year.
Thank you.
Gypsy says infrastructure first. Gypsy, you're
Man.
king of letting us know what's first with infrastructure, buddy. I mean,
He is.
you've built a couple different infrastructures a time or two in your day.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing, the coolest part was not only did you build your tiny house, but then putting up that barn that gave
Yeah.
you so much more space. And, you know, and what I liked about what they did, so talking about what you've learned from other homesteads,
And they got a lot of animals. Too.
their greenhouse was attached to, they put like a sunroom on their tiny house.
Yeah, that was a great.
And
great
put their
idea.
water tanks inside of that, and
No
that
freezing.
didn't freeze. I was really excited about that. So
That's smart.
in life, water, food, then housing, then the rest. Yeah. Let's see. Do you guys have a plan for prioritizing needs? What are your top goals for 26?
Did we write down goals for 26 a while back? Yeah. Anyway, you know, but I'll go by with I don't worry about tomorrow. It'll take care of itself. I'm gonna stay in the day. But no, we do have quite a few big goals for 26. So
Starting to build our house, our main house.
there's building that. There's the land management. So we've been looking at haying and even haying equipment, stuff like that. Gosh,
Getting a cow.
land management.
We drink a lot of heavy cream in our coffee.
How can we produce more than we're consuming?
Right.
You know.
And so a cow would be something I would really like. So beef is a big thing that we really eat. We are still eating off our pig. We
Yeah,
butchered a
yeah.
600-pound pig a year and a half ago,
Yeah.
and we're still eating off of
We've
her.
given a lot of that away.
And we have given a lot to our family and you know, stuff like that, but it's been, you start to realize that what we had to do to get our freezer full, it just really starts to shift the way you look at even a package of pork chops and how expensive they are at the grocery store, because I'm like, they want how much for that, and we've got a whole freezer full.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to rely on those as much. So putting ourselves in a position of being able to raise dairy and beef, like that's a big thing for me to
Well,
take on and learn
Yeah.
this year.
Because it's definitely, you know, another system.
Mm-hmm.
Not
And it's food
not
on the
only to
hoof.
figure out, but yeah, it's
You're not refrigerating it. You're, you know, growing it. It's
more energy management, more.
And we
time
had a friend
management.
that actually helped us butcher the pig, so it
Yeah.
wasn't like I had to pay to ship it off. And you know, that's always been, as a chef, as you know, that's something I really really love to learn, that aspect of the husbandry, because I think it kind of brings it full circle. If you understand how it's butchered and you understand what's happening, you look at it totally different. So I
For
built a
sure.
4x8 solar heater at 15 below zero, fill sun at noon. It put out 133 degrees. That's hotter than Arizona.
Man,
That'll keep you cooking.
that's pretty cool.
Copper piping or PVC pipes? Which do you prefer?
Oh, I've experienced with both, but yeah, everything is. I can't
PEX.
think. Yeah, I was thinking flex, but yeah, it's all PEX. So, and then all the drain pipes are PVC. So
Sounds so funny, but like
Yeah.
with tiling, I felt like that PEX was that like surefire. Like as long as you got your crimps right, you really can't mess up plumbing. Like if you got your stuff right, red is red,
yeah,
red is hot, blue is cold. Like I
Yeah.
felt like it was a little easier for like the plumbing aspect of learning
Oh,
to
yeah.
use PEX as your first
yeah,
go.
and especially installing because you can bend it. You can.
And you're installing it in an already made house. It's
a lot
not like you're
different than-
building the house and you can adjust, you know, your plumbing.
And you don't have to worry about setting the place on fire soldering either. I did that the first time I did copper piping was in Maine. I was remodeling a guy's bathroom, and long story short, because I didn't know what I was doing, but yeah, the whole inside of his shower was cooked from me soldering in there.
Right. Brett Boyd says,
was
"Good night,
fun.
guys. Wish you the very best. God bless you. Good to talk to you, man.
Yeah, it really was.
Tell us about your t-shirt business." So we're just launching it. We're just figuring out. AmericanRootsFarm.com is the website. And I'm working on the other
Sublimation.
aspect of that. Yeah. And so I can do sublimation. I can do iron-on. I can do direct to film. So I can put an actual picture on there if you want. We've done jerseys to t-shirts to hoodies for people in their homesteads.
Yeah, the
Um,
business one.
Yeah, so
hats.
my biggest thing is that when I went to go try to get a t-shirt, it was like $40 and I wasn't able to order, what I wanted, and it was just kind of weird. And if I wanted like a flag on the sleeve or something on the back, it was even more. And so I just thought there's got to be a different way. And so just trying to figure out different ways to say what you want. I know there's a lot of filtering and like what you can actually even order if you want to say something like eat beef, but also just the quality, having more control over that, and the cost, being able to print where I want. So is sublimation how the freestanding hoodies are done? No, that's direct to film, the freestanding ones. The ones that say Freeman that are like black ink, that's sublimation. Thanks, Jules. I appreciate you.
Oh,
And it's still working in progress. If you
Yeah.
if you are interested and you need something and you're not finding it, like I can do anything custom. I just haven't put everything together. You
just
you
email
can
Jeff.
email me at americanrootsfarm@gmail.com, and I will respond back to you and help get set up whatever you need. So if that's something you're interested in, I would think probably the most important thing I want to make sure I convey to everybody, because I know we're coming in on our closing point, is
Oh, I thought we were gonna get to current events.
yeah,
I've got a whole slideshow prepared
I
here.
is just that community makes a big difference, and just from the standpoint of like you can't do everything alone, and the people that do not have that community I've talked to that have a homestead, they definitely come through times where it's really harder than others if they don't have that help and support. So no matter if it's something like, I would just say, where do you get your news and why? I get my news from Tag at Life Done Free, and I don't know why.
I usually, it's,
Because he's the most reputable.
BBC, CNN, NPR. These are all great news outlets. If you want to read between the lines.
No, but just having an opportunity to share. One of the things that we say at the end of our videos when we're, putting up YouTube videos to share our journey is just that buy dirt, not diamonds. I spent so much time investing in the wrong things. And now that we're in a spot where we're like investing in our land, it's funny, you look around and you're like, man, I got a skid steer and a zero turn and these things that are helping improve your energy capital. And then how about a bless your heart shirt? Here in the South, it sounds good. I like that. And that's, I think it's the biggest thing, is just realizing how much we need each other to keep each other going, and that everybody doesn't know any one thing, everything of, everything. And so like Mario the plumber, who's extremely efficient in what he does, you can call him, Papa with mechanics. I mean, I could ask Tag any building question and he would go, that's easy.
We have.
Right.
B's a great interior designer. We wouldn't have a door over there.
Capitable. That is your energy. What is it worth? Is it capitable? Question mark. But thank you guys for allowing us to, steal the show tonight and take over Tag's live.
Yeah, how did we hijack his show? What
We
happened?
always like an opportunity to share, because if it wasn't for what Tag and B have helped invest with us and all the people in the community,
Yeah,
I
everybody.
don't know that we would be where we're at right now. You can say, yeah, you've done so much so fast, but if it wasn't for the support and advice
Right.
that the people have given us to show us, like, hey, if you need a tile saw, we're here for you. That stuff makes a big difference. And so, if we can encourage anybody to just, if you're just thinking about it, we both were city workers tied into the system of being consumers and decided one day, hey, maybe this is something else we want to explore. And it's been a lot of learning, but it has been fun,
Yeah.
I think. So thank you guys for
been a
allowing
blessing.
us to share. We appreciate you very much.
For sure.
There we go. Well, I hope you guys can hear me. So I've taken them off stage and I hope they stick around. So we'll visit a little bit afterwards. A couple things. I want to tell you guys something. I'm super proud of Jess and Joe. The journey, I've watched this journey happen a lot, and it's a hard journey. And that first year is rough, and they have handled it and made a lot of good strides. But it ain't easy. And you know, I was hoping we could do this together tonight, but maybe it was better that we didn't. You know, it was fun for me to listen to them and learn. And you know, they contribute just as much, you know, and they thank us a lot, but the truth is we get just as much the other way. And so I'm super thankful for that. As we get out of here tonight, do you have any parting words to kind of summarize everything that we kind of talked about tonight?
Probably adapt, improvise, and overcome.
Mm-hmm.
You know, things rarely work out the way you have it planned in your head, right?
That's the truth.
So be patient, regroup, show grace.
Yeah. All of those things are true. I think I want to leave it with this tonight. And this is a conversation that Jess and I had today. You know, I just got to spend a bunch of time with her today and had some great conversations. But at the end of the day, you guys, you have to drive a stake. If you don't come to something you believe in, something you're committed to with everything you have in you, you will spin and you will spin and you will spin. Now, we can sit around and we can be worried and we can be afraid about, you know, will this work out? Will I fail? Will I succeed? Well, you know, all of those things, you can worry about all of those things. But at least if you put the stake in the ground, and at least if you drive as hard as you can, at the end of the day, nobody can take that from you. The detail doesn't matter. It's just a detail at the end. But you can say, I gave it everything I have, and I did what I believed in, and I stood on what I said. And I think with that, we can accomplish so many things if we just do it together. We love you guys. Thank you for coming. Thank you for hosting Jess and Joe. Go over to their YouTube channel, American Roots Farm, and subscribe. You know, they're part of the community. If you got a t-shirt you want to get made, have them make it. That keeps the whole thing going. Again, I love you guys very much, and we'll see you guys in a week.
Be out.
Yep. See you guys.